Hello world, hello YouTube lands, how you doing out there? Hopefully pretty good. I'm feeling quite good myself. Drinking my coffee, reading my comics and doing my reviews as usual. Some might ask, why do I do so many reviews? I obviously spend a lot of time on it, don't I? I used to just do reviews where I go up on YouTube, flash a comic and just speak off the cuff. Nowadays I obviously sit down and do the written reviews for Geeks Out Nation, and then I go on YouTube and read them out, don't I? So why do I do that? It's not like I get paid for it. Certainly don't. It's not like I get any feedback really. If I look at all the written reviews that I've done for Geeks Out Nation over the last few months, I'll say I've probably got a feedback for about 2% of my reviews, and most of that feedback has been like nitpicking and negative stuff. It's not like I've got any feedback that says, "Oh, good job," or anything like that. So there's no patting me on the back. There's nobody out there saying I like your reviews. So why do I do it? Well, I do it just because it's enjoyable for myself personally, intellectually speaking. When I buy my comics, rather than just chucking away and not thinking about them, if I get to sit down and write about them, I get to get a little bit more out of the comics. Really, it's almost like an intellectual exercise. And I like to write as well. I'm not such a great speaker. I'm sort of an average speaker really. I prefer to write things down. So when Geeks Out Nation gave me the opportunity to actually write for them, I jumped on board that because although no one reads anything nowadays, I still write anyway. And when I write about comics, obviously I talk about other things as well. As I'll show you in this review, I don't just talk about comics in this. A lot of people do. A lot of people review comics, and all they want to talk about is how great this comic was, and they don't actually go any deeper than that. I try to go a little bit deeper, and if you check out this review now, you'll hopefully see what I'm waffling about. Right, this review is going to be my latest one from Geeks Out Nation, Star Wars Darth Vader and the Cry of Shadows #2. There's the book again, with Darth Vader on the front cover. This is #2, so if you want to follow this arc, then obviously you need to get #1 first, but you can pick up this comic and you know what's going on really. It's not that complicated. There's the artwork inside. It's not spectacular art, but it's perfectly good enough for the story. It's large and clear. You know exactly what's going on. There's no pretentiousness going on here. There's no silly shadows and stuff. You know what's going on. Right, so this is the review, and hopefully it'll be a good illustrative example of what I'm talking about when I'm doing my reviews here. I try to get a little bit deeper and just say, oh, that's a good comic, that's a bad comic. I try to look at the underlying themes, and even if no one's watching my reviews, I get no feedback. I'm enjoying it. I'm just doing it myself. I'm enjoying it as a solitary intellectual exercise, really, if nothing else. Right, here we go. Review: Star Wars Darth Vader and the Cry of Shadows #2. The positives: it's got nice art, it's got good action scenes, and it's a study of indoctrination and mind control. It's intelligent, a thought-provoking writing, and it's more than just another book about Darth Vader. The main protagonist is very interesting, and it tells us a lot about contemporary war propaganda. The negatives can be a little bit confusing with the flashbacks, and there's not much Darth Vader action, if that's what you're expecting from the book. Bottom line, more than just another book about Darth Vader, this is a highly thought-provoking analysis of indoctrination and mind control and war. Right, here's the review. I know what you're thinking. Another week and another Dark Horse comic about Darth Vader, right? In one way you're right, but let me just say that this comic isn't really about Darth Vader at all. It's about a soldier. But the problem, of course, is that a drone soldier called Hawk isn't exactly going to sell any comic books, is he? Darth Vader, however, well, everybody knows about him, don't they? So you stick his name and face on the front cover, and insert him into the story, and hope that people pick up the comic based on their Darth Vader fandom. What you're really doing, though, is telling a tale of psychological indoctrination and brainwashing that soldiers are subjected to. Not just in the Star Wars universe, of course. This is an important tale that resonates strongly in our own contemporary war-inflicted times as well. Darth Vader and the Cry of Shadows is a story that reveals how powerful elites manipulate young men into serving their own personal agendas. Hawk Malsum is a clone trooper, a man designed to fight and unquestioningly obey orders. He is told that he is fighting for freedom, so he believes that he is fighting for freedom. He is told that the Jedi are all the same, so he believes that the Jedi are all the same. Does this resonate yet? Because it resonates strongly with me. Hawk, of course, shouldn't even have a name. The very fact that he has given himself a name at all tells the reader that this soldier is no longer an unthinking drone, and no must be used and discarded at the whim of the Emperor. This story is told through the first-person narration of a man who was enslaved and didn't even realise it. He thought he was fighting for order and a galaxy at peace. He admired the cold professionalism of Darth Vader, and his career in the Imperial Army was all about impressing his superiors. It is told in the now and with flashbacks to his days in the army, where he tells of his exploits, the way he fought and the way he fought. It is a story about awakening from slavery, and for that reason alone this is a very important book. The most memorable scene in this issue is told in the flashback when Hawk, then known only as Clone Trooper CT-5539, details an encounter he had with the only other clone trooper who had broken free from his programming. The encounter takes place when Hawk, stroke CT-5539, is serving as an Imperial clone and is told to give the imprisoned man a tray of food. When this imprisoned man, who now goes by the name of Kadak, responds to him, he calls Hawk a slave. Hawk responds, why? Because there's none so hopelessly enslaved as those who falsely believe they are free. Of course, this is only my personal, highly individualistic interpretation of what is going on here. Others might read it as a book that hints about the past of Boba Fett. Yeah, Boba Fett. And it's cool because it shows the mindset of Imperial troops when they are fighting the heroes that normally get all the attention in the Star Wars universe. Others might just enjoy it because it shows how Darth Vader what Darth Vader was getting up to in the timeline that's not occurred in the 6 so far movies. My interpretation probably says a lot about myself. I don't think I'm reading too much into the book. This is after all a book about soldiers and how they justify their actions. It's a book about what happens when a soldier breaks free from his programming and starts to think for himself. The artwork is large, colourful and typical of many mainstream comics, but the writer Tim Seidel brings a little bit more depth to the storytelling in this one. That's why I'm reading it, and that's why I'm doing this review here. Hopefully you'll find yourself intrigued with what I've said and give it a read for yourself. I promise that you'll enjoy it, and if nothing else, it will at least get you thinking about some of the larger issues that go beyond the make-believe Star Wars universe and have real implications in the world we are all living in today. My rating, I gave it a 9.4 out of 10, which is quite a high rating. Nothing about that 9.5 though, because the artwork was just good, not spectacular. So yeah, that's what I mean by when I talk about comics. I'm not just talking about comics, I'm talking about the underlying themes that the comics deal with, and that's why I do these reviews, even though most of the time no one even looks at them. But if you are looking at my review, thank you, I do appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you disagree with what I say. Have a fantastic day, and I'll be back. See you guys.